All right, guys and gals, here we go. We're going to start ourselves a Litchi mission. Got this guy going. We'll get our gimbal guard off. Got Mr. Miller down here. He's getting himself set up.
Hello there, Mr. Smith.
We got our pilot pad. We got a big place out here. It's a RV park that goes on probably about 30 acres. We're gonna take a flight around. We've got our waypoint mission set up, probably about 150 foot altitude. Gary's getting his set up. I'll go ahead and open mine up. Get my iPad turned on. Fresh charged batteries. Go ahead and get ourselves plugged in. Make sure we got some signals and satellite. Got a GoPro mounted on the head here, so we'll see how this does. All right, there's Gary dialing things in. Get our cellular data turned on here.
4 satellites, waiting for a view.
Yep. Want to get enough satellites to make it safe, guys, gals, and others.
05911, okay.
0 feet altitude, 0 feet distance.
We're right up past some power lines.
Here it goes. He's gonna get up there, upload his mission. Get all his zebras in order. Make sure he's focused. Get over here on the pad myself. Get these guys sorted out. Sound like Gary is on the way.
I'm on the way.
And get our controller powered up here. And get our bird powered up. Got ourselves connected here. Go ahead and fire up Litchi.
Fly the mission, or what you gonna do, baby?
Alrighty, let's go ahead and load us up a mission here.
I bet I got my old board. I'm gonna let it do it.
Alright, Gary's on the way. How far out are you?
900 feet.
900 feet out that way some way. I got 13 satellites, 100% battery, 100% on the controller. I'm gonna fire it up, then I like to cut it back off just to verify I've got a home point. All right, here we'll go ahead and take her on up to about 100 feet.
I can see mine, and yet it has waypoint at the top instead of connecting. Huh.
Take her on up. All right, now she's up there. I'm gonna go ahead and send this waypoint mission. I'm gonna hit play, enter OK. Uploading our mission. always like to load my mission, let it get up there, head off to the first waypoint, and I'll go ahead and pause it now, get me a focus. Get my zebras set, hit record, push pause, and now she's on her way. There she goes, heading off to the first waypoint.
196 feet altitude.
Heading out that direction.
89% battery.
See if I can get a little bit of shade, maybe we can see the monitor here. Get a little look at it that way, possibly. On its way. I'm gonna get back out here where I can keep a signal.
2,884 feet distance. 14
QP,
miles per
waypoint.
hour.
Yeah, but I can see it.
87% battery.
See what?
It normally says connected here.
One of those benefits of Litchi.
That's it. Hey, she's flying that program. It's happened to me before, but.
So this is the great deal with Litchi. You're going to get supreme, superb, stable, smooth, buttery smooth footage, and you just get to stand here for a while. This is about a 14-minute mission. It's now 1,400 feet out, 174 feet in altitude, and it's running at 13 miles an hour out that direction. It's going to go way on out that way. It's going to come back in, do a figure 8, and then ultimately come right back in this direction, land right here. Good signal, 75 and 100%. Everything looking good. We're parked on the side of the road here. We strategize these a little bit so that we're not on private property, and also that we're not in a conspicuous area where we look like where we might be up to no good. Generally the traffic here is high enough, no one's going to stop, and we're at a safe distance far enough off the road where there shouldn't be any kind of safety issues, and we're standing behind a vehicle in case we get a wild one shoot the curb there and want to try to take us out.
Jump down behind the pond.
Yep, we can always hop down here. Good sunny day. We generally like to fly between about 11 and 2. Don't like to get out too late, maybe, unless you're going to get some sunset photos or sunrise photos. But generally by flying midday, mid-afternoon, is you're going to avoid a lot of the sun flare that you get, the faded out look that when your camera's facing the sun often causes the washed out look. And we're both flying with our settings at a +1 on sharpness and +1 on the remainders, and just a normal color profile. Get some good colors that way. Don't have to bother with editing. We're not going for any Emmys or motion picture awards. We just want good, colorful, realistic looking shots of the areas that we're familiar with. Oh, and by the way, a lot of people like to proclaim they're getting cinematic shots. Actually, to get cinematic shots, it's just a camera, any camera, but it must be shown in a cinema in order to qualify as a cinematic shot. Other than that, it's just a shot. All right, so we're 3,200 feet out, 14 miles an hour, looking real good. Don't have any overexposure warnings. Got good focus.
Must be it's not getting the connection.
195 feet.
Gary's probably back behind something over there. He got a disconnection.
Back to 75 now.
He's reconnected. You'll see this a lot. You'll get a a disconnection and immediately get a reconnection. Generally with any of these DJI products, you don't have to worry about it. The distance, transmission signal and quality is usually just awesome.
2,827 feet distance, 14 miles per hour.
Of course, the brightness on these tablets could use improving. Of course, anything that I'm looking at is always in glare. A lot of the times we'll just sit in the truck there and be in the shade and air conditioning and just let the mission fly, because really this mission has nothing to do with anything I'm doing here. It's on its way. Its final thing that it'll do is set to go back to the first waypoint. So whenever it's done, it'll just be above me. If at any point I wanted to, I could hit return to home. Also, if it were to run low on battery, and the battery right now is at 79%, it's going to do initiate its return to home there also. Relatively safe unless you get strong solar interference. Today is all low, very low, really non-existent. Of course, you see we took off about 10 foot from a vehicle, so there's no concern for magnetic interference there. We've only encountered it once, and that was when we was inside a chain link fenced in basketball court we took off from. It was asphalt, though it may have had a rebar beneath it, but generally if you're on grass and you're on more or less pristine ground, not a reclaimed construction site, you'll always be good. And you also got a pause button, this red button here, which is just awesome. If you get into a sketchy situation, maybe you're returning to home, things don't look right, or the wind gets high, or any other reason you find yourself in a bind, hit that pause button. Take a short minute to look at where you're at. If you got line of sight, maybe turn it around so tail end's facing you, fly it back to you, or maybe get altitude. Do whatever's needed to get yourself sorted out. That pause button's a good lifesaver for you. We're 3,200 feet out, 3,300 feet out. And you can do a movement with your antennas here and find out where exactly you are. Right now it's showing 0 control signal and 34% on the camera, 41% on the camera. And I can tell now I'm this direction because I was able to increase my signal strength. But we're flying relatively low. We're at 140 feet just to get a better shot at the ground. And I think at one point I raised over some trees. These are all live oak trees here in Florida, pine trees. And usually 150 foot is enough clearance, but sometimes you maybe give yourself a little bit of leeway. Got a good shot flying sideways there. How far are you out, Gary?
300 feet.
You doing a return to home?
Yeah.
Well, she's close.
Straight back from...
There she is, right up there. Yep, coming on in. Look, about 30 miles an hour right there. Probably can't see it on the GoPro. Might look like a little speck. It's coming right over top of me. Here she goes. Right straight above. Gary's got a return to home in progress.
40 feet altitude.
She's dropping.
Feet distance.
Mine's 3,900 feet out still.
60% battery.
She'll be coming back here shortly. Still on the increase. I ran a big figure 8 out there. Let's see if we can see what Gary's got going. At this point he's on return to home. We'll see how close she comes on her own. A lot of times you'll intervene and land them, but looking good so far. Coming on down, looking like it's gonna make it. He's gonna give it permission to land. Coming on down. That's a good, looking good. She wants the final permission. There she goes. Not too bad. I'd say that was about 8 inches off, huh? Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
And we get that about 3 out of 4 times. Usually the time that it's off, it might be a foot or two off, and so we'll go ahead and land that manually. We're 3,700 foot and coming on in 3680. Somewhere out this way. We got another mission planned we're going to take on here in a few minutes. 3,300 feet out, 14 miles an hour, 145 feet altitude. Got good focus on everything. All my zebras look good, nothing's overexposed. I like these kind of days where you got a blue sky and puffy white clouds. Not many clouds, there's some over that direction. Over here looks pretty normal. Little few puffy clouds there. Those puffy clouds are nice for your scenery. They just help to give a little bit of variation. We always try to avoid flying under large clouds, and here in Florida you get some really large clouds sometimes, and they'll produce shadows on the ground. Well, then you'll lose all your color in the landscape. Everything ends up nice gray and hazy. 2,500 feet out, 143 feet altitude, 13 miles an hour. Watching these fellas enjoy a day of golf. 2,300 feet out, 141 feet altitude. We'll be coming back in this direction. They just sent one out there about 120 yards. All our signal strengths look good. We're at 75 and 75. About 1,900 feet. Traveling at 14 miles an hour at 140 feet. Got some kind of world emergency happening here. We understand earlier, just up about a mile on the right at a motel, there was some sort of shooting going on. So he might be going up there to sort that one out, or either put another one in with somebody. Sometimes a guy needs a couple in his ass to sort him out. 1,400 feet out, 147 feet altitude. And the voice tells me 14 miles an hour. We're at 59% battery. So we ought to be getting eyes on here in a minute. Got some buzzards over there having a good day. Of course, their batteries are always fully charged, and if they get low, they just swoop down and have a little bit off of that possum or rabbit that they find on the side of the road. 840 feet out. We ought to be having a little song played to us a minute when she comes in. 600 feet out.
Over the pines.
Yep, right out that way, right between them power lines. Coming at us. Of course, with this GoPro, y'all might be getting some lens flare. That sun's right there, birds right there. I'm gonna stop recording now. Just saw an airplane shadow go over, it looked like. Stop recording. I'm gonna go ahead and hit return to home and let it bring herself in straight up. Gotta love the return to home. She's coming down right now. Got about a 3 or 4 mile an hour wind coming from the Mavic's backside. Looking good. She's sorting herself out there. Fine tuning that fine tune. Coming on down. Looks like it's on the mark. There you go. Another successful Mavic flight. What you think?
I think it went well today.
All right. We see you guys on our next one. We're heading downtown and gonna get us another one.